Today's poll of polls from Real Clear Politics, which is the 10-day average of all polls done across the country. Hillary Clinton, it has her leading Donald Trump 48% to 42%.
Now, no one has ever come back from 6 points down in the last 15 days before an election. We are now joined by KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan. And good news for Trump and all of this, Dave, is that he says we shouldn't believe these polls are accurate, right?
Absolutely. And we shouldn't be surprised that he's saying that based on, his earlier conduct. But the fact of the matter is the early turnout in these early voting states is pretty impressive. When do you hear the numbers? It's getting to be crunch time in campaign 2016, and the focus now is on the latest polls, who's voting and who's not, and how many campaign events can be squeezed into each day, at least for Donald Trump, who's telling his crowds he's going to win while continuing to charge the system is rigged against him.
Leave here and vote, or we have wasted a hell of a lot of time, energy, and in my case, a lot of money.
Even as Donald Trump demanded his supporters in Florida stop talking and start voting, plenty of voters were already lined up outside polling places there and in a half dozen other battleground states, waiting to get in and waiting to cast a ballot. According to one count, more than 5 million already have, and another million mail-in votes have reportedly been received in Florida 2 weeks before Election Day. Early voters there feel the urgency.
Why was it important for you to get out today?
Because I feel like America is in danger. If we get Trump in, he's going to destroy the fabric of America.
For the Hillary Clinton scandals, the treason, the email scandals, she should be in prison. And people need to be educated to vote for the people, not for the party.
Despite claiming he's winning, Trump is in the midst of a 2-day barnstorming tour of Florida, including 7 campaign events, perhaps reflecting some desperation behind the scenes. And he told a roundtable discussion in Boynton Beach the polls are rigged against him too, those that show he's behind.
It's a heavily weighted poll with Democrats, like the ABC phony poll that just came out, totally phony poll. But the polls that mean something, the polls that where they really have been accurate over the years, we're leading by 2 nationally.
But in a radio interview on Monday, Trump was telling a different story.
I guess I'm somewhat behind in the polls, but not by much.
In fact, the CBS News Battleground Tracker poll shows Hillary Clinton leading Trump by 3 points in Florida. And Trump is trailing in most battleground state polls and has only a narrow lead in some rock-solid red Republican state polls, up by only 3 points in Texas and running only slightly ahead in Arizona, Utah, and Georgia.
We're leading in places like Iowa, which has been blue the last couple of cycles, leading in Ohio. So we feel like we're winning this race.
Hillary Clinton rallied her supporters in New Hampshire and brought out the heavy artillery. Senator Elizabeth Warren, who nailed Trump for calling Clinton a nasty woman in last week's debate.
He thinks that because he has a mouthful of Tic Tacs, that he can force himself on any woman within groping distance. Well, I got news for you, Donald Trump. Women have had it with guys like you. Get this, Donald. Nasty women are tough. Nasty women are smart. And nasty women vote.
Now, Clinton, who doesn't think the polls are rigged or lying, is spending more time helping Democratic Senate candidates, knowing that if they can knock off 5 or 6 Republican incumbents, they could flip the Senate to Democratic control.
Unlike her opponent, she has never been afraid to stand up to Donald Trump.
Now, the turnout in some early voting states has been so robust so far, as we indicated earlier. There's some speculation tonight that voter turnout could reach record levels in some of those states by the time the mail-in ballots and Election Day walk-in voting is completed. And it's impressive. Over 5 million people already have voted at early voting stations.
Yeah. We've heard this before from Donald Trump saying that this election is rigged. But is there any reason to doubt the accuracy of these polls? There are a lot of polls out there.
I don't know about rigged, but it's a very difficult job this time around, I think. I think this, in fact, may be the most difficult election for polling that I've ever seen. Last week, a 50-year-old woman told me she had never voted and never even registered to vote. But this time, she told me she has already registered and will be voting without a doubt for Donald Trump. I have a feeling she's not alone. Donald Trump has generated so much enthusiasm among supporters and repulsion among his opponents. I think we'll be seeing a lot of unlikely voters casting ballots on both sides and that could make the polling of traditional likely voters not completely accurate. I guess we'll find out in about 2 weeks, Lena.
All right, Dave, thank you.